We had some news go down yesterday that kind of got washed under the rug because Micah Parsons got traded. Kind of dominated the headlines. I didn't see it till way later in the night, but I wanted to share it with you in case you missed it as well, because it's a roster move for the 49ers. As we know, the 49ers claimed defensive tackle Jordan Jefferson from the Jags, and in a corresponding move, they released Evan Anderson. I was kind of surprised that they released Evan Anderson, just because even last year as a UDFA rookie who made the final roster, who played a decent amount of snaps, played well. Wasn't, a game changer or anything like that, but a solid role player for a rookie. And I thought he made some plays throughout training camp. I do know he was banged up during training camp as well. But I think the 49ers were looking for additional upside from a guy with the fourth round pedigree. Well, anyways, Evan Anderson cleared waivers and signed back to the 49ers practice squad. So, great news for the 49ers. I think I'm just so used to the 49ers players getting poached by everyone that it's just like, uh-oh, here we go. Another guy's going to be gone. Oh, wait, he's back on the practice squad? Okay, let's go. So, I really like the 49ers practice squad right now. You got MVS, you've got Evan Anderson, you got Sebastian Valdez. You got some good young up-and-coming players that were able to come back around to the P squad. So, Robbie Chosen, for what it's worth, is on the practice squad. So, not bad, honestly. I think that the 49ers practice squad is honestly one of the strongest it's been in a couple years. And the reason why that is important specifically for this year is because, as we know, injuries pop up pretty quickly. And having some guys already acclimated into your system is a big deal, right? Because it is a lot harder to plug and play than just having someone who already understands your locker room, your defensive or offensive system, versus just having a guy that you have to throw into your roster or throw into some meaningful snaps that has only been on the team for a week. So, all things considered, the way that the 49ers have kind of massaged the roster, it kind of came in three phases. You had your initial 53, then you had kind of the shuffling of moving some guys to IR, re-signing other players, bringing back Thomas Morstead, bringing back Russell Gage, and then, adding guys to the practice squad. So it does feel like we know the roster will continue to evolve, but as it stands right now, it does feel like we have the final 53. So it's going to keep changing, right? Because the next thing that we need to figure out is what's going on with Jauan Jennings. Is he going to be a part of this team coming up? We had just heard yesterday Tim Kawakami on 95.7 The Game say that the 49ers and Jauan Jennings might not be getting a deal done anytime soon, because of the fact, or the speculation, I guess I'll call it right now, is that Jauan Jennings wants $20+ million per year on average, which is a non-starter. And I think for one of the first times in a long time, I've seen a fan base collectively united that is a non-starter. Typically how it's been is it's like pay our guys, they've earned it, they deserve it. And we all love JJ. We all love what he brings to the table. We love his mentality, we love his grit. But at the end of the day, I think we all understand he's a wide receiver 3 on this roster when everyone's healthy. And paying a wide receiver 3 $20 million plus million a year is malpractice. So shout out to the faithful, man. We have become contract experts because of all the negotiations that we have had to endure over the last couple years and how much we've had to talk about it. I can't even tell you how much I've had to learn about contracts and negotiations and the process just in order to cover it objectively and trying to talk about it at least from a place where I at least understand what's going on. So the fact that I think all the fan base is really pushing back against this, I think speaks to, again, not only do we understand what just went down with Brandon Ayuk, but we all know Jauan Jennings' role. And his role on a healthy 49ers wide receiver room is a wide receiver 3, and paying a wide receiver 3 $20+ million a year is borderline insanity. And that is nothing against JJ. JJ's great. I don't know if JJ produces the same on another team. I don't know if he goes and he's a number 1 on another team. I would assume he's a number 2 on another team. So it's a tough situation, man. It's a tough situation for the 49ers to be in because they need Jauan, but they need Jauan at a specific price. If it's going to be that price that, was reported by Tim Kawakami, then I believe the 49ers would be willing to go elsewhere. But this is the problem that I think is percolated. The problem is no other team wants JJ at that number. That's why he hasn't been traded. Because I can almost guarantee that the 49ers have either taken calls, made calls, because that's just how the process goes. That's one of the things that I've learned in a negotiation process. Doesn't matter if it's one of your top tier players. Calls will be made just to gauge interest, just to gauge what is his value. How do other teams value this player before we pay him? It happens. It really does. I won't go into detail, but you'd be surprised. The calls that have been made on some of the 49er star players in the midst of contract negotiations. But that, again, like I mentioned, is a part of the process. It's part of the information gathering. Are we bidding against ourselves, or could there potential be another team who is interested in the services of said player? So, at the end of the day, I don't think any other team is interested in Jauan Jennings at that number. He's hurt. He's missed all of training camp, essentially, and he's just not a prototypical X. He's basically a big slot. I think that's his best role on an offense. And again, that kind of puts him in that wide receiver 3 territory. He's wide receiver 2 at best. So again, I get it. The wide receiver market has exploded. I do agree he is underpaid and deserves a raise, but not $20 million. Oh no. Oh no. No, sir. I don't believe that is, I don't think that is the value of Jauan Jennings. I think the highest I would be willing to have a conversation about would be 15, and I believe that is generous. Maybe the ideal target is 13, 12, maybe somewhere around there. Because if you think about it, what was George Kittle playing for at his peak, at his prime? $15 million per year. I get it. It's the wide receiver position. It's a different market than the tight end position, but it's a comparison game. Are we going to pay Jauan Jennings more than we pay George Kittle? Absolutely not. That is not happening. That just is not happening. It's a non-starter. So we'll see. Curious to know what you guys think about this whole situation. What do you think is going to happen? Let me know in the comments below, and as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.